So for today's deep dive, we're looking at a stack of sources that deals with this really ancient problem, the whole idea of clean hands versus a clean heart.
Yeah, and we've got a great pairing for it. A story from Matthew 15, and then a more modern reflection piece called The Investment of the Heart.
And the mission here is to sort of unpack the difference between, just performing a ritual and having an authentic intention behind it.
Exactly. And you'll see how these ancient religious debates, they actually mirror our own modern anxieties about image and doing it right. It's surprisingly relevant.
Okay, so the scene in Matthew, it kicks off with a confrontation. You have these Pharisees, these scribes, coming all the way from Jerusalem just to complain about Jesus' disciples. What was the big problem?
They weren't washing their hands before they ate.
I mean, okay, my mom would definitely be on the Pharisee side with that one. That's kind of gross.
Sure, yeah, from a modern hygiene perspective, it's not great. But you have to remember who these guys were. They weren't worried about germs.
Right, this wasn't about bacteria.
Not at all. This was about the tradition of the elders. It was a ceremonial act, a ritual to show you were pure. By skipping it, the disciples weren't being unhygienic. They were being culturally rebellious.
So Jesus doesn't just tell them to go use some soap, I take it.
No, not even close. He completely flips the table on them. He accuses them of using their traditions to break actual core commandments.
Which one?
The big one. Honor your father and mother.
Wait, how do you get from washing your hands to dishonoring your parents? That seems like a big leap.
It's all about a loophole. A really clever and frankly a pretty cynical one. The text mentions a practice where people could declare their assets given to God.
Isn't giving money to God, a good thing?
You'd think so, but think of it more like a shady modern tax shelter. You basically say, oh, all this money I have, it's dedicated to the temple.
Okay.
So when your aging parents need financial support, you can just shrug and say, sorry, I've got no money, it's all God's.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. You still control it.
No way. So the money stays with you, the temple gets a vague promise, and your parents get nothing.
Precisely. It's a way to look super holy while being incredibly selfish. So Jesus says, you're honoring God with your lips, but your hearts are a million miles away.
Wow. So then he turns to the crowd, right, and he gives them this sort of riddle.
He does. He says, it is not what goes into the mouth that defiles a person, but what comes out of the mouth.
And his disciple Peter is confused. He asks for an explanation.
Yeah, and the answer Jesus gives is almost biological.
Yeah.
It's very blunt. He basically says, whatever you eat, food, a little dirt from your hands, whatever, it just goes into the stomach and then out through the sewer. It's just digestion.
It doesn't touch your soul, your spirit.
Exactly. But the things that come out of your mouth, your words,
those come from a different place.
They originate in the heart. And then he gives this whole list of what really pollutes a person. Evil thoughts, murder, adultery, theft, false witness, slander. His point is that you can't accidentally become immoral. It's not about outside contamination. It's about the pollution you generate from the inside.
And that's such a perfect pivot to our second source, the investment of the heart, because it argues we do the exact same thing today.
We just have better production values.
Right. The author talks about modern worship, particularly in what they call mega church culture, the lights, the sound mixing, the fog machines.
The sermon performance, as they call it. And to be clear, the author isn't saying that having nice lights is inherently evil.
No, of course not.
But they're asking a really tough question. Is all this polish a sign of genuine spiritual depth? Or is it just another form of hand washing? Are we just making the outside look perfect while the inside is ignored?
That distinction really hits home. Polished, but empty.
And the source makes this great contrast between investing great money and investing a great heart. It says you can have the whole show, the fog, and the perfect music, but if the heart isn't in it, it's just noise.
In vain do they worship me, like the first text said.
Yeah. And on the flip side, you can have literally zero resources, but if your heart is invested, that's the worship that actually matters. God doesn't care about the form, he cares about the content.
So whether it's an ancient legal loophole or a high-tech church service, the temptation is really the same.
It is. We polish the exterior because it's so much easier than cleaning the interior.
Before we wrap up, the source ends with a kind of self-audit question that's, it's a little terrifying, honestly.
It is. It just asks you to look at what has come out of your own mouth recently.
And not just your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Your texts, your posts, your comments online.
All of it. The question is, if you printed out everything you've sent for the last week, and that was the only evidence someone had about the state of your heart,
would you pass the inspection?
We'll just leave you to think on that. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.